Oh, one glad morning we shall see Jesus in the air, coming after you and me, joy's ours to share. What rejoicing there will be when the saints shall rise, headed for the Jubilee yonder in the sky. Oh, what singing, oh, what shouting, shouting on that happy morning when we all shall fly. Oh, what glory, glory, hallelujah, glory, when we meet our blessed Savior in the sky. Okay, fake laugh. I'm working on my evil fake laugh. It's kind of fun. So yeah, just working on the fake evil laugh and coming upon another 3-day fast. So I just did, depending on how you look at it, that was either number 6 or 7 straight months. I'm gonna say 6 straight months of 3-day fasting on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of the month, just right off the bat. So I really like it, just setting it. There's no more planning, no more trying to pick a perfect day. Just 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, go for it. I was at my mom's on Sunday, which would have been the 1st, and had to break the news I wasn't going to be joining the family for lunch. Again. Yes, again. But I think they're starting to get it. Everybody around me is starting to get it. I'm not quitting. And yeah, everything was weird this time because of the weather. I mean, look around. We got a mess. Power's been out, all that stuff. And so I didn't have my usual sauna because the place that has the sauna, the power's out. So my one comfort, I didn't have it this time. It was just straight up fasting. So anyway, kind of weird this time because normally I'm really like hopped up on propaganda and I like put a lot of mental effort into it, and I like read my books and listen to my messages and stuff. This time I just was like, all right, it's the 1st, I'm just doing it. So I think I can still use a little help, a little motivation, a little teaching, but I think I'm moving into the phase of just it's a practice now. And it's like when you and the thing about practice, I have a teacher that says practice is everything. And so it doesn't matter if you do it well or if you do it poorly, if you have your best day or your worst day. What matters is that you practiced. And so that's where I'm at with this one. This was a practice this time. Just very, you know, I just kind of went through it. Not a lot of highs, not really a lot of lows. Or I didn't really seem to notice the lows as much, but pretty nice though. I'm through it. I'm like halfway through this journey, this 1-year journey, 3 days a month, and then a 7-day to end it, 40 days total. So yeah, big news though. Just wanted to touch on something real quick before, you know, while I'm here. I guess I'm giving this message to my future self, because nobody's really watching this, and I'm not really looking for followers, and I'm not really going to be writing in journals and ranting in journals anymore, because over this little snow break where there was no power, I decided to go through my journals, my old journals, and it was painful. It was very cringy, and I probably tore out about 1,000 pages out of my journals. Took scissors actually, cut them out and burned them. It felt really good to burn them. It was just like very cringy, you know. And I may not be doing these much longer anyway, you know, because they'll probably, I don't know, they may not seem cringy, but I like to have them just in case, for whatever reason. But if they bring you motivation and joy for fasting, then I'm happy for that too. But and this takes me 10 minutes, whereas a journal entry takes me like an hour or 2. So big deal if this one's not, you know, super powerful and moving. But my wisdom did not stand the test of time. What I thought was wisdom when I wrote in those journals, it did not stand up to the test of time. But one big thing I did notice is, like, I had a weed problem, you know, with the lockdown and everything. I got into a habit of doing it pretty much every day. And then I got a float tank, and somehow slowly found myself off of weed over time. And now I pretty much, I can't really remember the last time I used it. I'd love to use it if there were a party and people were around, wanted to have a good time. I'm up for it, but that's just not really the case at this stage where I'm at on my journey. But yeah, so when I first got the float tank, I read this book called The Book of Floating by Michael Hutchison, and it was such a beautiful book, and it really moved me, and I loved it. And then I just hit 1,000 hours of float tanking. So I've logged all my hours, in case, you know, obviously, but I just hit 1,000 hours. And so while I was locked down, after reading my journals, got bored and picked that book up for a second time and read it again, and it almost hit me harder the second time, and just learning a lot. And as far as like, I finally figured out the downside of weed. After all this time, I figured out why the problem with weed, the trouble with weed, the trouble with any drug whatsoever. And it took me fasting, you know, it took me becoming a practitioner of fasting, not just a once a year kind of person, but like these monthly ones have really changed me. Yeah, I broke the fast with fruit, by the way, last night, which is kind of a great idea. So now I'm kind of like craving fruit, because every month, like, well, I found myself craving guacamole because I've broken my fast with guacamole several times. So whatever you break a fast with, like, calculate that. What do you want to be eating more of? You know, what would do your body some good? And then break your fast with that, and then you'll start to find yourself craving it, and then you'll have better eating habits immediately. But yeah, the float tank though. So with pain, the people that struggle with pain, like, why is the float tank so good with pain sufferers, anxiety, addictions, you name it? And addictions like weed for me. So weed, what does weed do for me then? Well, you're kind of going to work, you're driving in traffic, you're doing this, you're doing that. Life gets kind of boring sometimes, or predictable, and weed can kind of shake you out of that, and it lifts you up, it gets you high. You feel great, you laugh a lot of times, music sounds incredible. It just brings out the party. As I was saying, so the trouble with weed, it brings out the party side of you. It's good. So it's like lots of fun. And same thing when you have, so if you're kind of got a stick up your ass, it'd be good for you, right? Because it'll bring out your party side. So if you're having lots of achy pains and stuff like that all over, and you can't seem to get a handle on your aches and pains, then you might want to take some pain medication. Same thing with anxiety or sleeping. But the trouble is your mind can do all those things naturally. You just have to maintain certain practices that bring that out. For example, deep relaxation, and then kind of reprogram yourself from there. So the float tank can take a frozen belief system, thaw it out, you can remold it, and then freeze it again into something more suitable and sustainable and helpful for yourself. So anyway, yeah, so you take anxiety stuff, pills, weed, or whatever, then your mind doesn't have to do it anymore, or testosterone even. Your testicles no longer have to do their natural job. They're getting help, so they kind of get lazy. Everything gets lazy. It's done for you. And the biggest problem with that, well, there's lots of problems, because there's, you know, especially with weed, you're gonna, like, those muscles there are getting atrophied, and then they're gonna get angry. Things are gonna get flexed unnaturally, and then contract, and there's gonna be a drawdown, and you might find yourself screaming at people you love for no reason, or for stupid reasons, and wondering why you're behaving like a fool. And anyway, at least that was my experience. Forgive me, please, everybody, but it happens. But with the float tank, you get this deep relaxation, and you get this altered state of consciousness, which is what you're craving with weed anyway, or even with pain meds or anxiety meds, any kind of meds. you're getting this deep relaxation, and all of that stuff is getting, all that good stuff you need is getting turned on left and right. And so then you don't need the drugs like you used to. You've already got what you need, you know? So anyway, there's a pro sobriety message for you today. And with that fake laugh I'm working on, you know, I got a lot of fake laughs, but the evil laugh is kind of my favorite one because it's funny, and I think maybe I've got some potential with that one. And not everybody can do that one, so it's gonna be like my signature maybe. But when you laugh, even if it's fake, your body doesn't know the difference. And so if you're having aches and pains like we all are, then laughing releases, because your body doesn't know the difference, like I said, so your body's going to release all those chemicals, and you get some good feel good going on. And so I'm lucky enough to have a dog, so I just laugh in her face like constantly. I don't know what in the world she thinks of it. But very fun. But yeah, I was watching some old wrestling stuff. It came across my feed, and it was the $1 Million Man. And if you ever want to like model your fake laugh after someone, there's a great example. Anyway, that's all I got for today. And look at that. So yeah, fasting, wow. I do it for God, obviously, and God's a tricky word, you know. I'm trying to take it out of my vocabulary a little bit, but look at that. If you ever find yourself struggling with your faith, let me look at that. I've tried to be an atheist, I really have, and it doesn't fit. It doesn't suit me. And when it comes to faith, you don't need a lot. You just need a little bit. Almost more like you need doubt. I doubt. When you try on that atheism thing and you feel doubt, like when you look at that right there, you take this all in, you know, you touch the earth, I feel doubt, like, you know, as far as atheism, there's no such thing as a higher power, etc. I don't believe that. It doesn't work with me. I can't prove it, but I know it's true, kind of thing. And yeah, I believe. Look at that. I believe. And so yeah, I think it's a lot easier to fast if you're doing it on faith. And yeah, look into laughter yoga too if you're looking for a way to relieve some aches and pains. And that's all I got for you. I'll leave you there.